And hello to all my Scorpio friends, I'd like to welcome you in. My name is Scott Sagent, and today I'll be doing your free psychic tarot reading for June 2023. Now today they've dialed up for my great Scorpios a storyline spread. This is going to be a specific storyline spread though, I'll tell you about that in a minute. Now the storyline spread is great for general readings because it casts a very wide net across the entire sign of Scorpio. We're going to be telling 3, sometimes 4 or 5 different stories for different Scorpios, and this is going to be about the subject of health. Health-related stuff. It could be physical health or spiritual health, kind of whichever way Spirit wants to go with this. And health spread here may not sound like the most interesting thing in the world, but I've found they're very fascinating. Usually they're some of the most fascinating spreads that I've ever done. So that's what we're looking into today. There's something so important about health that they want to bring it to your attention here in your general reading. Now, they've asked that I conclude your reading with animal totems, something I really enjoy doing. Animal totems are a ton of fun, and they want to do 2 animal totems for you guys. So we're talking about a transition from one animal into the characteristics of the other. So we're going to be pulling out of this energy, going into the secondary animal. So always interesting to see what they give us there. Sometimes they give us some weird ones too. So can't wait to see what they have in store for you Scorpios. Also going to conclude your reading with a rune stone, and that'll tie a nice little bow around this project that we're going to call June 2023. Now we're going to get started right now, guys. The cards are already shuffled, rune stones shuffled up. We're ready to go. Only thing left to do is bring you in the overhead so you can watch. I like to share my table with you and show you what's going on. So what's going on right here are my ritual cuts, cutting each deck into thirds, putting them back together in a separate order. That satisfies the ritual aspect of tarot. It is the same procedure for personal private readings, so it's just like you're here with me now. And here we go. The storyline spreads always start, regardless of what kind they are, they're always going to start with 5 cards. So these are your base 5 cards, your core group, and arguably the most important of this spread. And we're going to need more cards than that. I haven't got my stop order from Spirit yet. We're still going to need more. Am I off the screen? Yes, I'm going to come down here just for the sake of the screen. You just got to pretend that this is all in one line. And we are still going, guys. There's my end, finally. Okay, so what we've almost gone full capacity here because this only goes to 12 cards. But here we go. This queen is looking back inwards, which brackets me off. That's my stop order from Spirit, so there we go. We do not have enough inverted to matter right now, so I got to get my facings together. This is all going to be one story. This is where the table will get, I got to move stuff around a little bit here, guys, but bear with me. I'm going to show you everything and make sure you see it all very clearly. We have this all working together. That's one story there, and then that and that. So we're looking at 4 different stories. Scorpio, it's going to look like this, at least on the initial part before I get more card work done. I need more cards, so let me just start grabbing what I need. All right, so here we have 2 pips. I'm going to just put 1 card on top of those. See if this card is a person. That's a court card. They say no. We're using the energetic definition there. These are 2 pip cards. They're just going to get 1 card to describe that. A bunch of wands going on there, all about work corner. And then over here, maybe off the screen, we've got 2 pips again, so they're just going to get 1 card there. Check if I have other people. Not there. Okay, down here we got 2 people. We have a king and a queen. I'm doing my first one here to see if we're using energetic definition. They say no. And then over here, energetic definition, yes. Person energy, no. I might have said that wrong for the king, but basically we're using the energetic definition for all of my people that came up in your spread. So we're not talking about people directly, but more about general themes, energetic definitions. So that card work is all ready. I still don't have enough inverts to matter. I got to check that one. Everything else is good because that's 3 out. Well, let's do the oracle first. If this comes in blocked, it didn't, so that's not going to matter. Over here, let's see if that matters. Yep, because we're blocked there. So that one we need to do a discard on. I think that's the only one that's going to matter for us. So let me do a discard on this whole set and see if Spirit wants to upright the whole thing. They say yes. Order needs to stay the same. Very important in tarot. There we go. And then this story just needs an Oracle Angel card and we're ready to go. Just a matter of showing you guys on the screen. So here we go. All about health. Story 1, guys. Health story 1. Health story 2. They want to talk about work health there. Work is affecting some of your health. Story 3. And story 4. We're going to wrap up with this very long story right there. All right, Scorpio, let's get to work. We got to get your animal totem done as well at the end of your reading. So let's get boogieing along. story number 1 in the health setup. If some of you have had a little bit of setback here with the family, emotional health is really what they're talking about here. Okay, so this could be like you lost a loved one, somebody broke up with you, even if a friend of yours, close person in your family may have gone through something hard here. It affects you, of course, because they're close to your heart. That's what they start with. That's how you know if the story is about you or not. It's just like, things are not really flowing really good here emotionally, emotional health, how you feel in your heart about things. Now, what they show here is, excuse me, a lot of my Scorpios here are learning some tough lessons, going through some tough things here with your emotions. And if that's the case, this is more than likely a repetitive thing that keeps coming around to you. It's something you got to keep dealing with, maybe because you haven't dealt with it yet, and the universe is going to continue to test you. But they're saying here, eventually you got to nip this thing off. You got to get this done and get this emotion, whatever it is that's causing it. Whether it's a person, whether it's a job, whether it's whatever, it's got to go. Okay, it can't affect you like that. They basically say you got to really take good pride in yourself here and in your emotional health, because it's affecting your physical health too, is what they show. So whatever is really causing your heart to hurt here is affecting your body as well. And that is no good. Spirit does not want any of that going on at all. To the fact that may be a core reason of what we're doing a storyline spread here for health for. Now, they do show a lot of Scorpios. We have action coming up here in the mind. So you guys are, at least you're not kind of letting this go unnoticed. They're saying you're very aware of what's going on and you have a plan. A lot of you do. And a lot of you are taking action, either already have begun this action or are doing it in the month of June. And that is the advice I would give you, is to go ahead and move forward with this in June, whatever you plan to do. Like I said, if it's getting rid of a person, do it in June. If it's getting rid of a habit, I guess that would be less of an emotional attachment. But, getting rid of, let's say you have an old house that, you grew up in this house. It's time to go and it's time to sell it, but you don't want to do it. You have this emotional attachment to it, right? Some people are attached to cars. People are attached to different things. They show action being done here. So you guys are mentally, mind over heart here, mentally moving forward with action. And this is going to free you quite a bit, actually. This is going to get you free, get you less tied up. More freedom and mobility is always good, especially mentally. They're saying that, the cobwebs that this is going to undo here, and the attachments that have bound you here are really freeing. Really nice thing to see there. And they show loyal heart here too. So they want to bring in, or at least get me to remind you, that loyalty is important. The people you surround yourself with, they got to be loyal. Otherwise, you're just wasting your time, long story short. So there we go in story 1. A very interesting emotional health story to start with. Story 2, Scorpio, they did talk about work here. This is work health related. Now, the first thing they show is we have relatively good energy here because they show an event, usually in the work corner. So this is like something that happened at work that triggered you. Maybe it's a health challenge, a diet thing where they see, who could lose the most pounds, or like who can eat right, or maybe it's just a thing that you're doing by yourself, but you're doing it at work. Okay, so it's like, I'm going to start preparing lunch to bring to work from home instead of eating fast food or something like that. So this is marking something on the calendar saying, hey, in June, this is when a lot of you are doing this here. It's affecting your health, and it's in a good way. I feel like this is in a very good way, because the next thing they show here is really all you got to deal with is just little stick fight stuff, just little small road bumps. It's not going to be perfect and smooth, but you guys can do this. And they're showing that this is being done at work. So whether this is eating right at work, whether this is exercising at work, getting with people at work to do this health change with. Of course, it's much better to do with other people than to do by yourself. And then we have the fastest traveling news card in the deck come in. So this is, for some of you, you're not even there yet, but it's coming. There is fast news at work that is going to affect your health decisions, and I feel like in a good way. So this doesn't mean necessarily that it's just purely positive, but it comes in quick, and that's the energy of this card. So it's just like you weren't expecting this. Maybe you will be now because we're talking about it, but that's about it. Now what Spirit is saying here is this is your chance to get ahead. You got a chance to get ahead with your health here at work. Work is the key there in story 2. There you go. Very positive story for work. Let's get into story 3, then I'm going to do some moon cycles for Scorpio. Story 3 in regards to health. They're talking about if you're putting in the work, Scorpio, you're really working on your health very aggressively here. This could very well be your story here in story 3. They show you putting in the work It's not necessarily all easy, but you're doing it anyway, and you're getting the results. They show the ground is fertile for this. It's my Empress card, which means that the fertile ground is ready for you. It's prime, it's proper, it's ready for you to take advantage of. Wonderful energy there. Now they're going to remind you that this is going to be a continued effort of work. This is not just going to be quick and easy and done. This is something you got to keep chopping at. You got to keep picking at here. They show the little guy, hammering with the hammer and nail. Here he's doing the work. He's chiseling. And that's what it's saying. It's like you got to do a little bit at a time. Don't do too much. There's no reason to. A little bit at a time, slow and steady wins the race. The tortoise and the hare. They do want to remind you that a lot of you really need to go at this by yourself. So if you're waiting for another person to join you here in story 3, like let's say this is something you've already started and or you've already decided to do, and there's something else going on here. With another person joining you, it's actually making me feel more like this is just you trying to do 2 things at once. Like let's say diet and exercise. That's the easiest example I can give you. This could be different things too, like exercising and then getting on a certain medication. So that would be another example of 2 things at work here, 2 things at play in story 3. Now, what Spirit is suggesting is that you don't do that. They're suggesting here that you just do 1. 1 is better than 2 for whatever reason, and I don't think they're talking about people. Now, the last thing they show here is not for you. I didn't even catch that earlier, but that reinforces what we just talked about, that this is not about a person. And this whole thing may not be about you either. This could very well be about you getting somebody else to improve their health. Somebody that you see, letting themselves go or something like that, that maybe have started doing the work, but then they're like, they're falling off the train a little bit here, and you got to help them get on board. So that could also be what not for you is as well. So very empowering story there in story 3 as well. So I'm going to cut away to give you guys some moon cycles. I'm going to tell you about the new product on the website as well, and get your story 4 going with health. Okay guys, it is moon cycle forecast time. We have a pretty simple set of moon cycles for this summer, June and July, and we start getting into some larger lunar events in August. But first, here's the transition to how things are moving, because the new moon is starting to move up. It's already pretty much smack dab in the middle of the month, and the full moon also moving up is right at the beginning of the month. But pretty soon, that full moon is going to drop to the end of the month, and the new moon is going to keep moving up until it's at the beginning of the month. That's happening very quickly. But first, in June, we have the full moon that comes in first, and that hits on June 3rd. This is the best time to get anything out of your life that you don't want there. Whether it's a toxic person that's got to go, whether it's an old habit that you got to kick, whether this is something you got to sell, or maybe a project you got to finish up, all that is best placed under the full moon energy. And that just helps you kind of get that stuff out and get the change to stick. And you don't have to do it on the 3rd either. Just any time right toward the beginning of June is key for that. But don't wait too long, because in the middle of the month, we have that new moon energy that hits on June 18th. And that is the best time to bring new things into your life and to manifest and to bring anything in that you're trying to do, whether it's health related, start something new with health, start a new diet, start a new exercise program. You're trying to attract new love. Maybe you're trying to attract a new job or new promotion, or you're just trying to do something new with money. It doesn't matter what it is. Using the new moon energy, it can happen much easier in the middle of the month versus any other time in the month of June. If any of this has confused you, I've put together a moon cycle forecast cheat sheet, and that is available every single month on my website, scottsagent.com, and it kind of shows you a visual aid, little graphic illustration of how these energies move in and out, so you can better utilize positive change, because that's what it's all about at the end of the day, is just making things go a little bit smoother for us. Now, let's get into the gemstone and the new product. Well, there is no new gemstone this month. We're going to take a break. We've just done 5 in a row starting in 2023. Those are all unveiled and available on the website, scottsagent.com, with the write-up sheet, which is very intuitive about what each gemstone does and how it can be properly used, and the new product. Now that I have to tell you about, because we are kicking off the gemstone again in July. It's coming back. We're going to drop a new one in July. But here in June, I have such a big product that I'm unveiling. That's why I decided to step away from the gemstone for a month. So the new product is a combination of actually 2 products. And I've been talking about this for my people for a very long time now. So this won't come as a surprise to everybody. But it's called a My Month Deluxe. It first takes my most popular product that I've ever put together, the My Month product. It talks all about your month, about that 30-day window that's being read for, so it's a nice little batch of divination there, very affordable for your month. The other thing that it's going to be combined with is already a set of 2 readings. It's an angel protection and animal totem package. It's angel protection and it's animal totems all combined in one. So now it's kind of like 3 readings in one we're doing here. It is a huge hit of divination, all in one package, one very affordable package when we kind of bundle it all together. And that product is going to be called a My Month Deluxe. It is available right now on the website, scottsagent.com. And guess what? If you're signed up for the newsletter, you're going to get a free one of these in June. Check your newsletter. It gives you instructions on how to do that. You're going to get a follow-up wonderful coupon for anything you buy after that. And oh my gosh, if you're not signed up for the newsletter, why haven't you? I give my newsletter people, I take great care of them, and I give them a couple free readings every single year just by being signed up to the newsletter. You can sign up for that at the very bottom of any page on scottsagent.com. And now let's get back to your reading. Okay, Scorpio, I am back with story number 4. Story number 4 starts with leaving something behind and not looking back. No doing this thing. You know that meme that they show, the guy looking at the girl in the red dress? None of that. No, looking back. This is you going forging ahead, not looking back, in faith and confidence and going for it. So whether this is you've cut a habit, you move forward on something emotionally, it makes me feel like story 1, but this is a further step. You guys are further ahead here in story 4, further along the process. You've already kind of cut something out here that had an attachment on you before. So if that sounds like you could very well be with me here in story 4, moving forward, cutting things out. This is very much a purging energy, which lines up with full moon, which we just talked about. So full moon is also going to be huge for my Scorpios. And it's been huge for a lot of my signs. We have a very relevant full moon coming in June. The next thing they show here is my King of Cups. They said not the person, though. So we're talking about energetic definition here. So this is taking great authority in your love corner with your family. So whether that just means like doing your health thing, finding the routine, getting the family on board with it, maybe going jogging with son or daughter or a family member, or doing things together, or maybe just eating a certain way at home, or doing the exercise at home. Whatever they're talking about for health here is very much about your group and not just about you. The next thing they show here is really kind of bounding down and getting attached to something here. And this is very much like going all in on, really becoming attached to something. I guess there's no better way I can put it than that. They show in the card a visual of a person being impaled by a bunch of swords. So there's no getting up from that. This is like you are fully invested in this here, mentally, if nothing else. And that is also the advice, is that, you really got to make these decisions for your health in the month of June. It's extremely important. And here's why, because they don't want you to be left out in the cold. So there is health to be had here that can be avoided for negative stuff later for a lot of my Scorpios. Spirit's basically looking to head down the path, and they see some Scorpios here on kind of a little bit of a crux point here, fork in the road, where it could go a couple different ways here, and Spirit's like, you know what, if we just get them to do this one thing maybe in June, this whole thing can be avoided altogether. Getting into a good habit, whether it's eating, exercise, dietary, whatever, even sleeping better. That's important that a lot of us neglect, so pay attention to all that stuff. So that's what they're trying to get you to avoid, being left out in the cold, being kind of like losing your health, right? And they show that the energy needs to be put into this. You need to nurture this. You need to treat your health like it's your child, like it's your family member, okay? Then you care more about it. Now what they show here is that there is something toxic here. So this needs to be addressed, and that there's no better way that I can put it than what Spirit has been saying this entire story, is that it needs to be addressed if it hasn't. If you haven't left something behind here that is lagging and sticking to you, you got to get rid of it in June, or more than likely it's going to be just harder to get rid of later. We have next the why. So a lot of you are confused or don't understand by what I'm talking about. Okay, that Spirit's making it known that they're aware that you're a little confused by what we talked about here. But we're working with a limited definition pool of 78 and 78, 156 different definitions, since I read inverted and upright. But they're saying here the why isn't as important. What's important is what we talked about. The energies of the card, that is your instruction manual for what to do in June. So Spirit's kind of being a little hard with you and saying, you know what, you don't have to understand everything. You don't have to have a detailed manual to get this right. You don't have to read the small print. Get the bigger concept, get the whole, get the gist. That's what's important here. I'm going to grab your rune stone, guys, and that wraps up the health section of your reading. Then we're going to get into some animal totems. They're mixed up. I always give them one more swirl. And here we go. Runestone for Scorpio. It's going to be this guy right here. And this is the rune of initiation. So they're saying Scorpios are ready for health here. This health kick, you're ready because you're the initiation phase means that you're initiated. You're ready. You're right there on the cusp of this big change, whether it's something in work that we talked about in story 2, whether the initiation is something with the family, getting somebody on board there and making action to improve the emotional health, what is going on there. You're ready. No reason to wait. Story 3, initiation. The main thing there is the one. Keeping on one thing instead of two. You guys are ready. You don't need both. You can just focus on one thing there, being initiated. And then initiation there on the bottom story here is that you're ready to leave something behind you here. And you're ready to go all in on a better health trajectory. So initiation, you can see through every single story, guys. I'm going to grab those animal totems. It is animal totem time. And I don't have to reshuffle because, yeah, I'm right at my card limit. So we're good to go. So animal totems, we're doing 2 of them. And I do need to also tell you, if this is something that interests you, Animal Totem is available as a personal reading. It is actually paired up with the Angel Protection reading. It is like 2 readings in one. It's a very interesting take. It's an angel protection and Animal Totem reading, all about you. This energy, of course, we're sharing with the Scorpio group, and you guys are wonderful, but at the end of the day, nothing beats a personal private reading. Your Animal Totems are done. I just need to get my sheet because there's so many. I don't have them all devoted to memory here. So here we go. First animal totem that you're moving out of, guys. They got you moving out of a giraffe. So we're moving out of this large giraffe over here, and we're moving into, change the page. Okay, we're moving out of giraffe, and we're moving into leopard. Scary fellow there. Hey, you know what? It's time to get a little fierce. Time to be a little courageous in June. Moving out of that giraffe energy. That he has a pretty good sight line. You know, he's up very tall with that long neck, can reach the tall branches. Well, the leopard goes up those. It actually doesn't just look at him. It does the work. It goes up the tree. It climbs. It's a climbing cat. And it is also a predator. So it's time to go after it. The giraffe is more of a grazer. You know, he just vegetarian. Nice guy on the block, tall one. And, you know, the leopard energy is saying, you know what? Time to kind of do this alone for some of you. A leopard is a solitary animal too. Giraffe is more with his group. The leopard is completely alone if it's not mating season or with its cubs. So it is saying this is the time for you, Scorpio, you, to get after it, get aggressive, and get things going here. Not just look at the goals, but to actually do the goals. And if there's anything else that I thought about or that has not occurred to me as I'm talking about this on the spot about your animal totems from giraffe into leopard, I will put that in the text above my head. And the last thing that popped in before I get away from that is using the nighttime to get things done. Getting more things done at night. That's what the leopard does. He hunts at night. The giraffe is, you know, getting things done during the day, his grazing and going to the watering hole and all that kind of stuff. Well, the leopard does the same stuff. He does it at nighttime. So he can use that nighttime to his advantage in the same way that you can use the nighttime maybe for something for health. Maybe you can work out at night, something like that. So all things to consider for your month of June. Thank you so much for tuning in, Scorpio. It has been a pleasure. Please remember to like and subscribe so you see the future readings. And I'll talk to you soon. Have a great June. I know you will.